Everyone likes to talk about the problems that husbands bring into marriages, but no one really wants to talk about wives. Are wives innocent? Wives aren't innocent either, are they? You know, some wives have gotten so complacent, so comfortable, so disrespectful. And these behaviors are also killing marriages. A lot of husbands are not even comfortable to talk about these issues out loud, but in this channel, we will do that. I will do that. This is a channel where we stop pretending that families are perfect, and of course, we unpack the unspoken realities of family life. Let's bring up this first woman. I call her the no more effort wife. This is the woman who was always on 100, before she got married. She's always looking good. Hair's done, nails checked, smelled nice, dressed well, gorgeous and radiant. The husband saw her and was like, wow, she's gorgeous. And he became interested. Before you know it, he popped the question because she kept the spark alive. Forward into marriage life, few months down the line, perhaps 1 or 2 kids, and she suddenly got so lazy about taking care of herself. She's always showing up in wrappers and sweatpants. And the excuse is that, oh, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm so busy, the kids, marriage is demanding. We know, wives, madams, I know, and kudos, you're all doing wonderful job. But here's the truth. I'm going to tell you, your husbands also want that version of woman that they fall in love with, that they fell in love with. They want that version of woman, or even better. So when you stop putting efforts to be that woman, or the better version of that woman that he fell in love with, I don't know, attraction is likely to take a walk at the door. And when that effort is not there, attraction is not there, desire does what? It goes away. I'm sure this is not what you want, dear wives. So do not give up putting effort to being beautiful, clean, neat, attractive. Keep the spark alive. If you're a wife, you're listening to me right now, and you find yourself in this category of no more effort kind of wife, please do something about this behavior before it does something to your beautiful marriage and your wonderful relationship with your husband. The next category of wife I want to talk about, I call them the mom first, wife last kind of women or wives. Mom first, wife last. This woman, everything about her, all that she's got, the best version of herself goes to the kids. Name it. Attention, love, support, everything you could think about ever goes to the kids. And guess what the husband gets? Bread crumbs or even leftovers. You have practically made your husband the third wheel in his own home. And your excuses, oh, I'm taking care of the kids. If the kids are fine, I'm fine. If not for the kids, I'm here for the kids. Wives, kids and children also thrive when husbands and wife are thriving. These kids watch you and your husband. They know everything that's happening between you and your husband. They observe you. If you're thriving, they'll thrive. It's natural. If you're building the love, the respect, the connection, the bond, the kids are watching you, they'll do well. The both of you are their foundation, not only you. So the kids are going to do well academically, psychologically, emotionally, mentally. In all areas, name it, spiritually, they are going to flourish because you and your husband are flourishing together. Let me tell you the trouble with this kind of behavior. When couples stop prioritizing the marriage, right? It means that the marriage is ignored. When you stop prioritizing yourselves, when you stop giving your husband that attention and you replace the kids with your husband, it means you're not prioritizing the marriage. It means you're ignoring the marriage. Here's the bigger part of the trouble. Don't forget, kids grow up and they leave home. So when the kids leave home, what's left for you? The man whom you became strangers with many years ago? Is that why some of you suddenly fall into depression? So some of you suddenly feel so lonely? Build that bond with your husband. Please reverse it. Wife first, mom last. Yes, that is the way it should be. So if you're a wife and you're listening to me right now and you find yourself in this category of behavior, please do something about it before it does something to your beautiful relationship with your awesome husband. What about the women who have become emotionally checked out in their own marriage? I mean, your husband is talking to you, you hear him, but you don't really listen. You know, there's a difference between hearing and listening. You hear him talk, but you don't listen because you can't connect to him. And even when he tries to connect with you, when he tries to perhaps touch you, oh, I'm talking to you, you sigh. Your husband is talking, you're busy on TikTok, smiling, scrolling, making arrangements with your friends when you will hang out. No attention, no connection. Emotionally, you're checked out. You cannot relate to what he's feeling or saying. You actually do not care. Here's the trouble with this behavior. Men also live, and men live emotionally. Most times, men don't live physically. Men live emotionally. And in fact, the truth is that when men begin to feel unheard, they close up. And that's where living emotionally for them starts. When they close up, when they stop communicating, when they stop talking to you, they shut down. And when they shut down, what happens? Intimacy dies very quickly. I want to believe that this is not what you want for yourself and your husband. I do agree that sometimes the reason why you shut down, perhaps, is because something that is probably not getting right. But you can talk about it. Because when you shut down, when you give him that standoffish attitude, he feels unheard, he feels small, he will also shut down. And once that happens, intimacy begins to fade. And obviously, that's not what you want, dear wife. So if you're a wife and you're listening to this right now, and you know you have, emotionally disconnected from your husband, please do something about it before that behavior does something to your beautiful marriage with your awesome husband. There are these wives who believes that their husband will always be there. Whatever the reason is, I do not know. But what this belief does with this kind of wives, it makes them become so comfortable. They believe that the marriage certificate is all the assurance they've got. And so they no longer need to put effort. They no longer need to appreciate the man. And so they just relax. Oh, that's my husband. He'll be there. If he makes any move, I report him to the church. I report him to the pastor. And so you don't appreciate his efforts in small and big ways. You're so relaxed. You believe he'll never leave. The truth is that men leave. They can leave. I mean, most men don't physically leave the way we do. A lot of us, when we got married, when there's little argument, we tend to leave. You can ask my husband. You pack your bags and you're like, I'm leaving. I'm done. In tears and all of that. And then I'm going back to my father's house. A man is not going to do that. Anyways, this is what a man will do. He will leave emotionally, not physically. And so what happens is that he connects into his own world, either to his work, hobbies, or worse yet, you know who. Is that what you want? Appreciate your husband. He's still relevant. Things could happen. Situations could make him withdraw from you. So be very intentional about recognizing his efforts, appreciating him, loving him big, 100, and honoring him. That way, he feels appreciated and he continues to function just the way that works for you. Now, listen to this. These women that I'm bringing up next, I call them the weaponized intimacy wives. These ones, intimacy is their weapon, is their tool. For them, sex is a reward, leverage, or punishment. Sometimes she withholds it. Another time, she doesn't even bother to share with him altogether. I mean, madam, who told you? Why do you think intimacy is something to play with in a marriage? Intimacy is something you come into marriage to play about. I mean, do you think that your husband should bargain intimacy with you? Like the way you go to the market, you want to buy something and you have to bargain for price. How much is this? Can I pay this? I have that. That's what you want your husband to do with you when it comes to sex. He needs to beg for it. I mean, he needs to be on his toes for you to give him that. You use intimacy as a tool to manipulate him. Oh, you're not doing this, I'm not giving that. I mean, you close up, nothing. And you think that's fine? Let me tell you the trouble with this behavior, in case you don't know. For most men, intimacy is never optional for a lot of men. You see the way I'm saying it? It's not optional. It's not something they didn't come to bargain with you. They did not come to bargain with you. You go give, Abi, you no go give. That's not what they came for. No. Do you know why? For many of them, that's how they feel loved. It is difficult for men to go so vulnerable with you, to open up with you, even if you're their wives. It is difficult. And if you've gotten to that point with your husband, congratulations. That's a lot of trust. For we women, it's easy for us to shed tears. It's easy for us to say, oh, tell me you love me. Oh, you don't do this, you don't do that. Oh, you've not called me. Oh, you didn't buy me anything. Your husband is not going to do that with you. Of course, he's a man. He's a man. He won't do that. So the only way he gets to, demand for his own feel loved kind of thing is with intimacy, sex. And then you feel like you can deny him of that. Hello? It's not an option for him. Granted, I know there are times when you don't feel well, or you just gave birth, or you're under the weather. I'm not talking about those times, because any reasonable man should know that there are certain times within the month, based on your own context and situations, when he should let you be. I'm talking about those women who weaponize intimacy in the marriage, who would not allow their husbands to go there, except on their own terms. He came to play with you. I said what I said. For most men, intimacy is not optional, and that's how they feel loved. That's how they feel loved. So without it, connection dies. Whether you like it or not, that's what's going to happen. Connection will die, resentment builds, and what happens? Distance grows even stronger. So you decide what you want for yourself. If you will weaponize intimacy, or if you will let him have it, because he earned it. Okay, let's move on to the disrespectful wife. The wife that she practically normalized disrespect. Perhaps that is the norm. Perhaps that is her love language. I don't know. She talks to her husband like a kid. She normally has 3 kids, but I think perhaps the husband is the 4th one. And so she rolls eyes, snaps at him, raises her voice, corrects him in the public. Every disagreement is an opportunity to belittle him. You bring in sarcasm, all those, whatever it is in your mind. Whenever there's a little disagreement, you go to the extreme. You express bitterness, so much disrespect, so much contempt for him. And you think that's fine? You think it's normal to call your husband names, raise your voice at him, talk to him like one of the kids, correct him in public, And what else do? Use crosswords, belittle him. Let me tell you the trouble with this kind of behavior. Maybe you don't know, but I'll tell you. For men, respect is like oxygen. It's not even like. For men, respect is oxygen, because when I say this is like this, it means they are not really, it's just like. Respect is oxygen for men. Hear this and hear this. I said what I said, wives. Respect is oxygen for your husband. What happens to us when we don't get oxygen? You know, right? That's what happens to your husband when you deny him of respect. He stops functioning altogether. This is the trouble with the behavior, because you will kill your husband even when he's alive. Because without respect, he can't be alive in that marriage. Listen, let me tell you, a man can stay in a tough marriage provided he feels respected. I repeat, a man, ask them, a man can stay in a tough marriage where he feels respected. And no matter how classy, beautiful, hardworking, how financially stable you are, and you disrespect your husband, I'm sorry, he won't function, because there's no oxygen. So the moment disrespect becomes the default tone in a marriage, your husband is likely to check out emotionally, and eventually this will lead to the breakdown of the marriage. Let me tell you something, wives. Even if respect is the only thing you bring to the table in that marriage, your husband appreciates it. It makes him a better man. It makes him breathe. It brings him peace. But of course, yes, because you're doing the will of God. Is there not a reason why we're told as wives in the Bible to have deep respect for our husbands? God says deep. God said deep respect for our husbands. He didn't just say respect. He said deep. All of us eventually at some point will say he gets why. So wives, please, don't joke with respecting your husband. Be very intentional about it. Be very intentional. If this is the only thing you can get right in that marriage, you did well. Kudos. And your husband appreciates that. And he will function better for you. So respect. Those of you who have gotten so comfortable, see finish. Like, is it not Papa Emeka? What will he do? Let me tell you who Papa Emeka is. He's your husband. He's your husband. He's your head. If you cannot play the card of respect, please don't come into the space of marriage. If you're coming to marriage, respect is one thing you should bring to the table as a woman. If you feel triggered, I'm not sorry. I said what I said, and I am unapologetic about it. Because these facts are tested, trusted, and they always work. Like it or not, you have to respect your husband, wives. So if you're a wife and you're listening to this conversation right now and you feel in some way you disrespect your husband, please do better. Please do something about this behavior before it does something to your beautiful relationship with your wonderful husband. Let's talk about the comparison queen. I mean, she's always pointing out what men do for their wives. She's always telling her husband, why can't you be like that man who does this for his wife? Can't you see my mates? Can't you see other women? Why does it have to be me? What do you even do for me? Look at what other men are doing for their wives. Wives, don't compare your husband with any other man. Your husband is your husband. The other woman's husband is her husband. Their situations are not the same. They are not two individuals. They cannot function in the same way, at the same pace. Here's the trouble with your behavior. Comparison kills gratitude. When you continue to compare your husband with other men, he begins to feel less appreciated in the marriage. And a man who feels he'll never measure up, he will eventually stop trying to do anything for you. And so you get to complain? No, don't complain. You compared him to the point that he gave up trying to please you. Because by the time you keep comparing him with other men that you see, you're telling him that, listen, guy, you're not measuring up. You're not doing well enough. You're not fit for me. And who thrives in that kind of environment? You, I. But of course, nobody does. Nobody does. So he will stop trying to do better for you. Dear comparison queen, if you're listening to this video right now, and you find yourself in this category of behavior, just something about this behavior before it does something to your relationship with your wonderful husband. Let's call up the women who are always right. I mean, this wife, I call them the always right wife. They are never wrong. These wives, they are always right. They are never wrong. I mean, every argument turns into a court where she's the judge and the jury, and of course, the husband is the one being judged. She never admits when she's wrong. There is no accountability, no growth. She finds it very difficult to say, oh, my husband, I was wrong in this one and I'm sorry. Please forgive me. There's no sorry she can't say sorry. The truth is, when one partner always have to be the one to say, I'm sorry, be the one to take the blame, what you're doing to your husband is that you're punishing him. It's one-sided. I mean, he's bearing the emotional burden of the marriage, and that can be tiring. A marriage is not a place for one-sided punishment. Let me tell you the problem or the trouble with this behavior. I mean, without accountability, there is no growth. And without growth, there is no improvement in any marriage. Obviously, there are people who are married, you see them, and you're like, wow, I love this couple. Do you know why they are like that? Accountability, growth, and improvement. People are happier in marriages because they became accountable. They saw what they were doing that's not right. And they said, oh, I need to do better. They said to their partners, oh, I'm sorry, my husband. And you see them improving. Those improvements is what has kept them at that place where you feel, wow, I love this couple. They've grown. She has grown into a better version of herself. So if you're the wife that is always right, I'm sorry you can't grow to that point. So the trouble with this behavior is that you can never grow and you cannot be accountable. If you don't accept where you are wrong, how do you make improvement? No marriage thrives without accountability, growth, and improvement. Dear wives, you cannot continue to keep your husband on one side of the blame every time there's an argument. Learn to say, I'm sorry. Learn to be accountable. Learn to accept where you're wrong. And please adjust so that you and your husband can grow together. The essence of this video is to highlight some areas that wives around the world have become so complacent and so comfortable. These behaviors destroy marriages too. I hope this video have helped you to identify where you need to do better. As a wife, family life is definitely not easy. But when we have an open heart and learn and grow, improve, we will do better with our marriages and family life. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.